The plan.
Hey guys, today we are diving headfirst into the glorious, over-the-top, muscle-bound mayhem that is the Expendables 2. Get ready for a high-octane recap where explosions are currency, one-liners are gospel, and the laws of physics are merely suggestions. This movie is less a film and more a symphony of gunfire and bicep flexes. So let's unpack every glorious, ridiculous moment. If you had a good time with this, a like and a subscribe is a free way to help me keep making more.
Let's make it more dramatic. I'm out of bullets. Let's shoot.
A menu.
I want my money.
Going back down. Time to wrap this up.
We are, you and I. Like him. What did you call him?
Good line. Gets. That's her. Billy. You know how to carve a turkey?
Cover up! Whoa!
Incoming chopper! I'm asking you!
Well, I'm asking you!
Yeah, sure is. Trench, we got a way out.
Thank.
Go! One white wall, come on!
Keep moving! Why always me?
You hit?
Position.
Moving out, over.
Guy's good. You're good.
Won't be late, sir.
Fire!
That was just...
Go! Where the hell? Yeah! Good shot! Come on!
What just happened?
Shooters. I don't know, but...
Спасибо.
One more!
Do what I think you'll do! Yeah. Come on, let's move! Come on, come on!
Shh. I'll be seeing you around, Trench. Thanks a lot.
How you doing, pal?
I was doing pretty good, Chuck.
The plan. I want to make some money! Let's make it more dramatic. I'm out of bullets.
That's your... A menu.
I want my money. Going back down. Time to wrap this up. We are, you and I. Like him. What did you call him?
Good line. Gets. That's her. Billy. You're not a carpenter.
The whole thing kicks off in a blaze of glory, literally. We're deep in Nepal, or what looks suspiciously like a video game level designed for maximum chaos. A heavily armed convoy barrels down a dusty road, and suddenly, a massive, custom-built pickup truck, bristling with weaponry, slams into view. It's Barney Ross, looking as stoic as ever, behind the wheel, his grizzled face set with grim determination. Lee Christmas, with that perpetually bored but deadly look, is in the passenger seat, already cracking wise about needing to find a less active retirement plan. The back of the truck is a veritable buffet of firepower, with Hale Caesar and Toll Road laying down suppressing fire, the heavy machine gun chattering like an angry beast. Bullets ping off the armored plating, sparks flying, a symphony of destruction already in full swing. The objective? To rescue a hostage, of course. Who else but an old friend, Trench Mauser, played by a certain Austrian oak who clearly still enjoys breaking things. The Expendables crash through a fortified gate. The sound of splintering wood and twisted metal a prelude to the carnage within. The courtyard is a whirlwind of gunfire and explosions. Caesar unleashes a torrent of lead from his shotgun, the percussion booming across the compound, sending enemy combatants sprawling. Toll Road, ever the strategist and demolitions expert, is methodically taking down targets, his rifle shots precise and deadly. Lee Christmas, nimble as a cat despite his bulk, is a blur of motion, throwing his signature knives with sickening thuds, each one finding its mark with unerring accuracy. The metallic glint of the blades as they spin through the air is almost hypnotic before they bury themselves deep. Inside the stronghold, Barney is leading the charge, a pistol in each hand, moving with a fluid brutality that belies his years. He clears rooms with swift, efficient movements, the bark of his firearms echoing in the confined spaces. Punctuated by the grunts and gasps of his unfortunate adversaries, they eventually find Trench, who, naturally, is surrounded by a small army of bad guys. Gunnar Jensen, looking completely unhinged and loving every second of it, barrels into the fray, his massive frame a wrecking ball of destruction. He's wielding an enormous machine gun, letting loose a sustained roar of fire that decimates everything in its path. The spent casings rain down like golden confetti, and the smell of gunpowder fills the air. Trench, meanwhile, despite being a hostage, is already putting up a valiant fight, a testament to his own enduring badassery. It's a beautifully choreographed ballet of bullets and brawn, a classic Expendables entrance. Just when things seem like they might get too easy, a tank rolls into the courtyard. Because why wouldn't it? The ground trembles with its approach, the grinding of its treads a truly ominous sound. But fear not. The Expendables have a plan, which usually involves more explosives. Toll Road, with a mischievous grin, plants a charge, and with a thunderous boom, the tank becomes a very large, very fiery wreck. See, this is why you don't bring a tank to a knife fight when Lee Christmas is around. Or a grenade launcher. Same difference. The team then makes their way to the extraction point, a small, heavily guarded airfield where a helicopter is waiting. Billy the Kid, the youngest and newest member of the team, a sniper with a conscience, is providing cover from a distant perch, his rifle shots a sharp crack that picks off enemies with chilling precision. Barney shares a moment with Trench, a quick exchange of gruff pleasantries, a nod of respect between two titans of the mercenary world. As they board the chopper, a literal army of bad guys appears, swarming the airfield like angry ants. It's a classic action movie bottleneck, and the Expendables are more than ready. Caesar unleashes hell with his weapon, the sustained rattling sound deafening, chewing through the attacking force. Toll Road is practically laughing as he lays down fire, each shot a punch to the chest of their enemies. Lee is still throwing knives, because why reload when you have an endless supply of pointy things? And then, just when it seems like the entire mountain might explode, they lift off, the chopper blades cutting through the smoke and fire. They've done it. Mission accomplished, for now. Oh, and Jet Li's character, Yin Yang, is also there, making a quick, impactful appearance before seemingly disappearing to go do whatever Jet Li does when he's not kicking butt. Probably something involving more kicking butt, just off-screen. Back at their mobile base. A beat-up C-130 transport plane that's probably seen more air miles than a commercial jet fleet combined. The team is enjoying a moment of relative peace. Lee Christmas is sulking slightly because Barney beat him at knife throwing, a truly existential crisis for a man whose identity is practically built around throwing sharp objects. Gunnar is, well, Gunnar, probably making some inappropriate joke or flexing for no reason. Billy the Kid is talking about retiring, wanting to settle down with his girlfriend. He even shows Barney a small, crudely drawn necklace he's made, a token of his love. Barney, ever the grizzled mentor, tries to dissuade him gently, reminding him that this life, the Expendables' life isn't something you just walk away from easily. There's a subtle tension in the air, a foreshadowing that anyone who talks about quitting in an action movie rarely makes it to the credits in one piece. This is where you start to get a bad feeling, right? It's practically a rule. Their brief respite is shattered by the arrival of Church, played by the perpetually grumpy and demanding Bruce Willis. Church, still holding a grudge from their previous escapades, forces the team into a new mission. It's a simple snatch and grab, or so he claims. All they have to do is retrieve a briefcase from a downed plane in Albania, a task that sounds suspiciously too easy for a group of highly trained killers. As collateral, he sends along Maggie, a stoic, no-nonsense tech expert who's probably smarter than all of them put together and definitely knows her way around a computer. She's there to ensure they don't try to pull a fast one on Church. Barney, reluctantly, agrees, knowing that Church has leverage. The team loads up, the sounds of their gear clanking and shuffling filling the cargo hold. The atmosphere is different this time. There's a quiet sense of foreboding, a heavier weight to their movements. They parachute into the Albanian mountains, the wind whipping around them, the vast expanse of jagged peaks looming ominously. The landscape is desolate, remote, exactly the kind of place where bad things happen to good mercenaries. The downed plane, a relic of some forgotten conflict, sits amidst the rocky terrain, its twisted metal a testament to its violent end. The team moves with practiced efficiency, their footsteps crunching softly on the loose scree, their eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of trouble. Billy takes up a sniper position on a ridge overlooking the crash site, his scope sweeping the area, providing crucial overwatch. The silence of the mountains is broken only by the occasional rustle of their gear and the whispered commands exchanged between Barney and Lee. Inside the plane, they locate the package, not a briefcase, but a complex, intricately designed computer drive. Maggie quickly interfaces with it, her fingers flying across the keys, the soft hum of the device a stark contrast to the rough exterior of the plane. She discovers its contents, a detailed map to 5 tons of weapons-grade plutonium, hidden in a disused Soviet-era mine. That's not a snatch and grab, Church, that's a world-ending threat. No wonder he sent them. Just as they are about to exfiltrate, a storm of gunfire erupts. Billy, from his sniper perch, screams a warning into his comms. He's spotted something, a large group of hostiles closing in fast. The crack of his rifle is instantaneous, a desperate attempt to buy his teammates time. This is where we meet Jean Vilain, played with menacing charm by the one and only Jean-Claude Van Damme. He emerges from the dust and smoke, flanked by his personal army, a cruel smirk playing on his lips. His movements are precise, almost balletic, a stark reminder of his martial arts prowess. He's not just a mercenary. He's a force of nature, driven by pure greed and a chilling disregard for human life. The team is caught in a brutal crossfire, bullets ripping through the plane's fuselage. Barney barks orders, his voice raw with urgency, as they scramble for cover. The clang of metal, the shattering of glass, the rapid-fire bursts of automatic weapons. It's a chaotic symphony of destruction. Vilain, ever the showman, has a plan. He captures Billy, isolating him from the group. The moment is tense, agonizingly slow. Barney, Lee, and the others watch in horror, unable to intervene without risking everyone's lives. Vilain, with a chillingly calm demeanor, pulls out a knife. The glint of the blade is sickeningly bright in the harsh light. He plunges it into Billy's chest, a swift, brutal movement, designed to inflict maximum pain and psychological damage. The sound, or rather the lack of a sound from Billy, is deafening. It's a gut-wrenching moment, a stark reminder that even the toughest mercenaries aren't invincible. The metallic thud of the knife finding its mark is practically audible, a sharp, cold jab to the heart of the team that Barney's roar of anguish and rage is primal, echoing across the desolate landscape. He opens fire, a desperate, futile attempt to save his friend, but it's too late. Vilain simply smiles, a cruel, triumphant expression, before his men detonate the plane, sending it up in a massive fireball that engulfs Billy's body. The explosion is deafening, a concussive blast that rattles the very bones of the survivors. Barney, Lee, and the rest are thrown back, disoriented and heartbroken. The weight of Billy's death hangs heavy in the air, a pall over the entire mission. This isn't just a job anymore. It's personal. Revenge, a dish best served with extreme prejudice, is now the only item on the menu. This particular brand of snatch and grab just became a blood feud. And honestly, Church, you really need to be more specific with your mission briefings. The Expendables, now fueled by a burning desire for vengeance, solemnly bury Billy's dog tags at the site of his death, a silent vow hanging in the air. Barney clutches the necklace Billy made, his knuckles white, his eyes dark with grief and fury. The team's usual banter is gone, replaced by a grim silence, broken only by the quiet shuffling of their boots. They are a force of nature now, a pack of grizzled wolves tracking their prey. Maggie, who witnessed the brutal murder, agrees to help them, her tech skills invaluable in tracking Vilain's movements. She decrypts the stolen drive, revealing the full extent of Vilain's plan. He intends to extract the 5 tons of plutonium from the abandoned mine and sell it to the highest bidder. Sparking God knows what kind of global catastrophe. Their first lead takes them to a remote, rundown village. The journey is tense, the rumbling of their truck the only sound breaking the silence of the rugged terrain. As they approach, a dreadful scene unfolds. Vilain's men, ruthless and cold-blooded, are terrorizing the villagers, forcing them to dig for the plutonium. The sounds of their shovels scraping against rock, punctuated by the occasional scream or whip crack, paint a grim picture. The sight ignites a fresh wave of fury within Barney. This isn't just about Billy anymore. It's about justice for the innocent. It's a classic action movie dilemma. Do they stick to their mission, or do they help the innocent? Well, it's the Expendables, so you know the answer involves a lot of noise and flying debris. They launch a full-scale assault, moving with the speed and precision of seasoned veterans. Lee Christmas is a whirlwind of knives and close-quarters combat, his movements a blur of lethal efficiency, the soft thud of his blades hitting their marks interspersed with the crunch of bone. Gunnar, with a roar, unleashes another volley of machine gun fire, the sheer volume of lead overwhelming the enemy. Hale Caesar wields his colossal shotgun, the thunderous boom of each shot echoing through the village, sending targets flying. Toll Road, a master of improvised tactics, uses the environment to his advantage, his rifle shots ringing out, picking off targets with ruthless accuracy. The villagers, initially terrified, watch in stunned awe as these living legends tear through their oppressors. It's a beautiful, chaotic ballet of destruction, punctuated by the grunts of effort and the gasps of their enemies as the battle rages. Barney finds himself face-to-face with a particularly nasty henchman, a hulking brute who thinks he's got the upper hand. The two exchange blows, the crack of fist against jaw reverberating through the air. Barney, despite his age, moves with surprising agility, weaving and dodging, his counterpunches landing with brutal force. The fight is a raw, visceral struggle, each blow carrying the weight of his grief and rage. He eventually dispatches the thug with a final, devastating strike, his breathing heavy, his eyes still fixed on the bigger prize, Vilain. It's a moment that reminds you that even without fancy weapons, Barney Ross is still a force to be reckoned with amidst the chaos. A familiar figure emerges from the shadows, a lone wolf in every sense of the word. It's Booker, played by the legend Chuck Norris, looking as impassive and indestructible as ever. He effortlessly dispatches a handful of Vilain's goons with a few precise, bone-shattering moves, his presence radiating an almost mythical aura. The sound of his roundhouse kicks connecting is like a muffled drumbeat, powerful and effective. He's there by coincidence, or perhaps because the universe simply willed him into existence to save the day. He explains he's been hunting some of Vilain's men who crossed him years ago. His appearance is brief but impactful, providing a much-needed morale boost and demonstrating that there are indeed forces in this world even Vilain should fear. His entrance is so quiet, so unassuming, yet so utterly devastating, that you almost wonder if the bad guys just spontaneously combusted out of fear after the dust settles. With the villagers freed and Vilain's immediate forces decimated, Booker shares crucial intelligence about Vilain's full operation, including the location of the mine where the plutonium is being extracted. He then, with a cryptic nod, disappears as quickly as he arrived, leaving Barney and the team with a clear path forward and a renewed sense of purpose. This is the kind of character you call when you want a situation resolved without any fuss, just absolute, undeniable victory. The Expendables continue their pursuit, now armed with critical information, their resolve solidified. The sounds of their vehicles rumbling into the distance signal the next phase of their relentless hunt, The path leads them to a derelict former Soviet training facility, a vast, decaying complex that perfectly suits the grim atmosphere of their mission. Concrete buildings crumble, rust stains everything, and the air itself seems to carry the ghosts of past conflicts. This place feels like a final boss arena waiting to happen. As they traverse the expansive, overgrown grounds, the metallic screech of an approaching vehicle cuts through the oppressive silence. Suddenly, a familiar rumbling sound vibrates through the ground, and a very heavily armored vehicle, clearly Vilain's mobile command center, rolls into view. It's an imposing beast of metal and weaponry, bristling with machine guns and protected by layers of steel. Barney's eyes narrow. This is it. The Expendables spring into action, their movements precise and coordinated. Lee Christmas, with his signature blend of agility and deadly accuracy, launches himself into the fray. He leaps onto the moving vehicle, a whirlwind of motion, his knives flashing. The metallic clangs of his blades impacting against the vehicle's armor, and the sharp cries of Vilain's men as he dispatches them, punctuate the scene. Gunnar unleashes a sustained torrent of machine gun fire from a vantage point, the deafening roar of his weapon echoing across the desolate facility, chewing through the enemy's numbers. Spent casings rain down, hitting the concrete with a soft, metallic whisper. Hale Caesar's thunderous shotgun blasts rip through the air, sending goons flying with concussive force. Toll Road, ever resourceful, quickly identifies weak points in the vehicle's armor, his rifle shots punching through with terrifying efficiency. The air crackles with the sound of gunfire, the harsh crack of bullets hitting masonry and steel, creating a cacophony of war. Barney, ever the leader, is right in the thick of it, his twin pistols barking. He moves with a calculated ferocity, his eyes scanning for Vilain. He sees him, perched precariously on the rooftop of the moving vehicle, observing the chaos with a detached, almost amused expression. Vilain, in a display of his own cunning, activates a remote control, detonating a series of strategically placed explosives that send parts of the facility crumbling down around the Expendables. The ground shudders violently, clouds of dust and debris erupting with explosive force, adding another layer of chaos to the already frantic battle. The sound of crumbling concrete and twisted rebar is truly terrifying. As if the very facility is groaning in pain as the fight against Vilain's heavily armed vehicle intensifies. The Expendables find themselves momentarily pinned down, the sheer volume of enemy fire proving overwhelming. The air is thick with smoke and the metallic tang of gunpowder. Just when the situation looks dire, a new force erupts onto the scene. Two familiar armored vehicles, one driven by Church and the other by Trench, roar into the facility, their heavy machine guns opening up with devastating effect. The combined firepower of these two legendary figures turns the tide instantly. The continuous, ear-splitting chatter of their mounted weapons creates a wall of lead, shredding Vilain's remaining forces and tearing apart his armored vehicle. The sound is glorious, a sustained, powerful roar that makes you want to pump your fists in the air. Church, with his usual gruff efficiency, barks orders, his voice carrying over the din of battle. Trench, looking utterly delighted to be back in the thick of it, unleashes a barrage of fire, a wide grin plastered on his face. Their unexpected arrival is a game-changer, bolstering the Expendables and putting Vilain firmly on the defensive. The battle now transforms into a multi-front assault, an all-out war zone where every shot counts. It's a truly spectacular display of coordinated destruction, a masterclass in how to turn an ambush into an overwhelming victory. The ground literally vibrates under the continuous onslaught, and the distant crump of exploding vehicles adds to the chaos. With Vilain's mobile command destroyed and his forces scattered, the combined teams press their advantage, driving the remaining enemies towards the massive, dilapidated airport facility. This is where Vilain has set up his final stronghold, a vast, cavernous space that once housed aircraft, now a chilling staging ground for his plutonium operation. The sheer scale of the airport is immense, its rusting hangars and crumbling control tower casting long shadows over the proceedings. The echoes of their footsteps and the rumble of their approaching vehicles reverberate through the empty spaces, building an incredible tension. This is it, the grand finale. Inside the airport, the final battle erupts. It's a chaotic, multi-layered melee, an absolute free-for-all where every character gets their moment to shine. The soundscape is a relentless assault, the rapid-fire thud-thud-thud of machine guns. The sharp crack of sniper rifles, the metallic clang of knives connecting, the visceral thwack of punches landing, and the earth-shattering boom of explosions. Each distinct sound paints a vivid picture of the relentless action. Barney, driven by a cold fury, charges straight for Vilain, his eyes locked on his target. He dodges a flurry of attacks from Vilain's remaining elite guards, his movements a blur of practiced lethality, his pistols spitting fire. Lee Christmas is a whirlwind, effortlessly weaving through the fight, his knives a constant, deadly presence. He performs breathtaking aerial flips, launching himself over obstacles, delivering precise, lethal blows. The soft whisper of his blades cutting through the air, followed by the sickening thud of impact, is a chilling testament to his skill. Gunnar, with a maniacal grin, unleashes a torrent of lead from his heavy machine gun, the deafening roar of the weapon accompanied by his joyous battle cries. He literally carves a path through Vilain's men, sending bodies flying. Hale Caesar's shotgun booms like a cannon, each shot a concussive force that clears entire sections of the hangar. He moves with a slow, deliberate power and unstoppable force. Toll Road, ever the practical one, uses explosives to strategically bring down sections of the airport structure, creating choke points and trapping enemy combatants. The thunderous explosions send dust and debris raining down, the ground trembling violently. Church and Trench, operating as their own miniature army, work in tandem. Their combined firepower a devastating force. Church, surprisingly nimble, unleashes a precise fusillade of shots from his assault rifle, his movements economical and effective. Trench, with his enormous frame, becomes a human bulldozer, plowing through enemies, his massive weapons spitting fire with a continuous roar. The two veterans, despite their bickering, are a perfectly synchronized force of destruction. And then, just when you think the Expendables are doing pretty well, another unexpected ally joins the fray. Booker, the lone wolf. He reappears, seemingly out of nowhere, his presence marked by a sudden decrease in enemy numbers. He moves like a phantom, his kicks and punches delivered with impossible speed and power, the sharp thwack of his blows a clear sign of his lethal effectiveness. He dispatches a small army of Vilain's men with calm, effortless precision, a silent, deadly guardian angel. The almost comical ease with which he renders enemies incapacitated is a stark contrast to the all-out brawling of the other Expendables, but equally effective. It's like watching a perfectly executed martial arts demonstration amidst a full-scale war. His signature low growl accompanies his decisive strikes, leaving no doubt about his intent. Maggie, proving to be more than just a tech expert, actively participates in the close-quarters fighting, showing surprising proficiency with a pistol and some quick, agile moves. She defends herself with a quiet determination, her shots precise and deadly, demonstrating that brains and brawn are not mutually exclusive. She's definitely not just there to look pretty and hack things. She's a capable fighter in her own right. The sheer scale of the battle is overwhelming. The sounds of breaking glass, collapsing metal, and the endless rat-a-tat-tat of automatic weapons blend into a constant, deafening roar. Explosions rip through the hangars, sending fireballs into the air, the concussive force rattling the very bones of the combatants. Smoke billows, obscuring vision, making the already chaotic fight even more intense. The ground is littered with debris, spent casings, and the unfortunate remnants of Vilain's army. It's a full-on war, a beautiful, violent ballet of destruction and vengeance. Finally, Barney confronts Vilain amidst the burning wreckage of the airport. The rest of the team are still engaged in smaller skirmishes, clearing out the last pockets of resistance, leaving the two leaders to their inevitable showdown. The air between them crackles with unspoken animosity, the weight of Billy's death hanging heavy. Vilain, ever the smug, arrogant villain, throws down his weapon, challenging Barney to a hand-to-hand fight. He wants to prove his superiority, his mastery of combat. He's confident in his skills, boasting about his martial arts prowess, his movements fluid and deadly. Barney, his face a mask of cold fury, accepts the challenge. He drops his own firearms, the metallic clang of them hitting the concrete echoing in the now slightly quieter hangar. This isn't about guns anymore. It's personal, primal. It's a classic action movie trope, the final boss fight, mano a mano. Vilain immediately unleashes a flurry of lightning-fast kicks and punches, a whirlwind of martial arts expertise. The whoosh of his kicks as they cut through the air, the sharp thwack of his punches connecting, are rapid and precise. Barney, despite being outmatched in terms of pure agility and traditional martial arts, meets him with raw power and an unyielding will. He parries, blocks, and counters with heavy, bruising blows, the crack of fist against bone audible even over the distant sounds of the ongoing skirmishes. He's not graceful, but he's incredibly resilient. The fight is brutal, visceral. Vilain kicks Barney with incredible force, sending him stumbling, impacting against rusted metal and concrete. Barney grunts with effort, absorbing the blows, but always pushing forward. He lands a solid punch to Vilain's jaw, a satisfying thud that snaps the villain's head back. Vilain recovers quickly, spinning with a powerful roundhouse kick that catches Barney square in the chest, sending him gasping for air. The sound of the impact is almost sickening. Barney drops to one knee, momentarily winded, but his eyes never leave Vilain. The fight is a desperate dance between speed and strength, agility and endurance. Vilain constantly tries to outmaneuver Barney, striking from different angles, using his environment to his advantage, leaping onto debris, and launching himself back into the fray. Barney, meanwhile, slowly but surely wears Vilain down, his heavier blows taking their toll, his relentless pursuit chipping away at Vilain's arrogance. Every punch, every block, every grunt of effort is filled with the pin-up rage and grief from Billy's death. It's not just a fight. It's an act of catharsis. Finally, after a brutal exchange that leaves both men battered and bruised, Barney sees his opening. Vilain, momentarily off balance, attempts a final, desperate kick. Barney ducks under it, delivering a massive, gut-wrenching punch that doubles Vilain over. The sound of the blow is like a dull, heavy thud. As Vilain staggers, Barney grabs him, lifts him with surprising strength, and then, with a primal roar, impales him on a jagged piece of rebar sticking out of the floor. The sickening crunch of bone and flesh, followed by Vilain's final, choked gasp, brings the fight to a sudden, brutal end. Barney, breathing heavily, stands over Vilain's lifeless body. The blood on his knuckles a testament to the savagery of the fight. Justice for Billy has been served, bloody and unforgiving. He retrieves the necklace Billy made, still clutching it tightly, a silent farewell. The remaining Expendables, along with Church, Trench, and Booker, gather around, their faces grim but victorious. The airport is a smoking ruin, but the mission is complete. In the aftermath. With Vilain defeated and the plutonium secured, the Expendables return to their plane, a quiet somberness having replaced the earlier chaos. They are all battered and bruised, but alive. The journey back is marked by a newfound quiet respect amongst them, a deeper bond forged in the fires of vengeance. Back home, they hold a small, personal ceremony for Billy, scattering his ashes and hanging his necklace in a place of honor. Barney reads a letter Billy had written, a final message expressing his love for his girlfriend and his hopes for a peaceful future. The words are poignant, a stark contrast to the violent lives they lead. It's a moment of raw emotion, a rare glimpse into the hearts of these hardened warriors. The crackle of the paper, the gentle rustle as Barney holds it, the quiet sniffles from the team, it's all part of the somber symphony. The movie closes with the team back in their element, but subtly changed. They are on another mission, but the weight of Billy's sacrifice lingers. They're still a family, but one that has learned a painful lesson about loss and the true cost of their chosen profession. They drive off into the sunset, or perhaps more accurately, towards another exploding sunrise, ready for whatever the next adventure, or rather, the next contract, might bring. The rumbling of their truck fades into the distance, leaving only the memory of their camaraderie and their unwavering loyalty. And that, my friends, is The Expendables 2 in all its explosive, muscle-flexing, one-liner-spitting glory. This isn't just a movie. It's a love letter to the action genre, a reunion tour for some of the biggest icons to ever grace the screen, and a pure, unadulterated adrenaline rush from start to finish. It's a story of loyalty, brotherhood, and the devastating price of vengeance, wrapped up in a package of beautiful, chaotic violence. The constant barrage of action, the escalating stakes, and the emotional core of Billy's death give this installment a surprising depth, despite its over-the-top nature. It reminds us that even heroes bleed, and even legends feel the sting of loss. The film is a masterclass in how to deliver nonstop, thrilling entertainment while still giving audiences something to connect with on a more personal level. It's a testament to the enduring appeal of these larger-than-life characters and the simple, yet powerful. Narrative of good versus evil. The Expendables 2 truly delivered on its promise of more action, more stars, and more explosions. It's a thrilling, unapologetic homage to 80s action cinema, bringing together an ensemble of legends for one last, glorious hurrah. Its blend of high-octane sequences, surprising emotional beats, and a touch of self-aware humor makes it a standout. What a wild ride. We're diving headfirst into the explosive world of the Expendables 2, where the only thing bigger than the guns are the egos, and the body count is practically a character in itself. Get ready for a high-octane ride with all your favorite action heroes, because we're about to recap every single crunch, boom, and one-liner. If you like this sneak peek, hit the like button and subscribe. It's the best way to support the channel, and let me know you want more. The movie kicks off, as all good action movies should, with a bang, or rather, a series of very large bangs in Nepal. The Expendables are in the thick of it, vehicles exploding, bullets flying. The usual Tuesday morning for these guys. We see the familiar faces. Barney Ross, stoic leader with that perpetual squint that says, "I've seen things, man." Lee Christmas, the knife-wielding maestro whose aim is always true. Yin Yang, the martial arts expert, a blur of motion. Gunnar Jensen, the erratic, muscled powerhouse. Toll Road, the demolition expert who probably uses C4 as a nightlight. And Hale Caesar, the heavy weapons specialist, because when you need something really blown up, he's your guy. They're making an incredibly noisy entry into what looks like a heavily fortified compound. And let me tell you, subtlety is not in their vocabulary. Their mission? To rescue a Chinese hostage, and a very familiar face, Trench Mauser. Played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's currently tied up and looking mildly annoyed. The team makes short work of the bad guys. A symphony of gunfire and shouts. Christmas is flinging knives with pinpoint precision, each one finding its mark with a satisfying thunk. Gunnar is just a whirlwind of brute force, punching through walls and taking down enemies like they're made of tissue paper. Caesar is unleashing a torrent of lead from his massive automatic shotgun, the metallic clatter of spent shells hitting the ground mixing with the screams of their adversaries. Toll Road is doing his part, probably rigging a few surprises for anyone trying to escape. Barney, ever the strategist, is calling the shots, moving with a calm, deadly efficiency, his revolver barking out precise shots that never seem to miss. It's a beautifully choreographed ballet of destruction, truly a sight to behold. They find Trench, looking a little dusty but otherwise unharmed, and the Chinese hostage. Trench, with his signature dry wit, greets them, a clear indication that he's already over it. Just when you think it's over, another wave of baddies appears, and the team makes a frantic dash for Barney's iconic plane. It's a miracle that thing can still fly after all the abuse it takes. As they attempt to extract, more enemies pour out of the compound, laying down a hail of suppressing fire. The plane, with its surprisingly nimble maneuvers, comes in for a close approach. Christmas leaps onto the wing like he's going for a casual stroll, and uses his blades to carve a path through anyone foolish enough to stand in his way, before rejoining the team inside. Meanwhile, Yin Yang is busy making sure no one follows them too closely, a blur of kicks and punches, clearing their escape route with remarkable speed and grace. He's so fast, you almost miss the sheer brutality of his movements. The escape is, naturally, not smooth. Gunnar, in a moment of, let's call it, enthusiasm, manages to crash a motorcycle into the departing plane. Only Gunnar. The plane barely takes off, listing heavily, probably wondering what it did to deserve this life. Inside, there's a good-natured jab fest between the guys, that classic mercenary banter that lets you know they're family, even if that family communicates primarily through explosions. They drop off the Chinese hostage, and, much to everyone's surprise, Trench decides to tag along. Just a casual ride on a cargo plane with a bunch of trigger-happy mercs. Standard Tuesday, remember? Back home, or at least at Barney's sprawling, very manly compound that probably smells faintly of gun oil and old leather, the team is finally getting some downtime. Christmas is working on his motorcycle, probably because it's the only thing that moves faster than he does. Toll Road is sketching, proving that even a demolitions expert has a creative side. And then there's Billy the Kid, a new addition to the team, a sniper with a moral compass that's slightly more calibrated than the others, and a desire to retire. He's writing a letter, a heartfelt message to his girlfriend, which, in the world of action movies, is practically a death sentence delivered via carrier pigeon. Seriously, whenever someone mentions retirement or a loved one in these films, You just know disaster is about to strike. This brief moment of peace is shattered by the arrival of Church, played by the eternally cool Bruce Willis. He's got a proposition, or rather, an ultimatum. See, Barney owes him one for that whole blowing up a small South American country thing. Church wants them to go to Albania, retrieve a package from a downed plane. A very specific, very important package, and in return, the debt is cleared. Oh, and he's sending along his own operative, Maggie-chan, a sharp, skilled woman who will be watching their every move. Barney, ever the pragmatist, agrees, but there's a clear tension between him and Church, two alpha males circling each other. The team, including Maggie, flies off to Albania. The landscape is rugged, unforgiving, perfectly mirroring the nature of their mission. They locate the downed plane, a mangled wreck in a desolate forest. The atmosphere is tense, the silence punctuated only by the rustling of leaves and the distant chirping of birds, a silence that screams ambush. They search the wreckage and find the package, a small, heavily encrypted safe. Billy, ever the professional, scans the area, his sniper rifle at the ready. He's got a bad feeling about this, and frankly, so do I. It's a classic horror movie trope, but with more guns, just as they secure the package. A small army of heavily armed men materializes from the shadows, led by the impeccably dressed, dangerously charismatic Jean Vilain, played by the legendary Jean-Claude Van Damme. Vilain is not just a bad guy. He's the bad guy, oozing menace with every calm, chilling word. He demands the package. Barney, being Barney, refuses, naturally. A standoff ensues, the air thick with unspoken threats. Vilain doesn't waste time with negotiations. He's here for one thing. He's got the advantage, having captured Billy, who's been snagged in a snare set by Vilain's men, his sniper rifle out of reach. This is where things take a dark turn. Vilain, to prove his point and establish his absolute ruthlessness, makes a horrific example of Billy. He takes a combat knife, and in a gut-wrenching moment, he plunges it into Billy's chest. The team watches in horror, utterly helpless, their faces a mask of shock and grief. The sound of the knife, the choked gasp, it's brutal and effective. Vilain's smile is chilling. He then cuts Billy's throat, just to be sure, and leaves his body, a tragic, limp form, with the Expendables. He takes the package, leaves a pin, a simple symbol of his organization, and walks away, a chilling display of power and contempt. The message is clear: cross Vilain, and you pay in blood. It's a real kick in the gut for the audience, especially after Billy had just been talking about retirement. Talk about a swift dose of reality. The silence that follows is deafening, broken only by Barney's ragged breaths. The team is reeling. Billy, their youngest, their idealist, is dead. Barney, his face a storm of grief and rage, cradles Billy's lifeless body. The mission is no longer about a package. It's personal. It's about vengeance, pure and simple. This emotional core is what truly elevates the movie beyond just a mindless action flick, giving the explosions and gunfights a genuine purpose. Barney, with a heavy heart, finds Billy's letter, the one he was writing to his girlfriend, and a single tear escapes his eye. This isn't just a tough guy showing emotion. It's a testament to the bond these men share, a brotherhood forged in fire and bloodshed. They bury Billy there, a solemn, makeshift grave in the wilderness. It's a quiet, reflective moment, a stark contrast to the chaos that usually surrounds them. Barney places Billy's signature knife on the grave, a silent vow of retribution. Then, the hunt begins. Barney leads them, a man possessed, his eyes burning with an icy fury. Maggie, recognizing the shift in their mission, becomes an uneasy ally, providing crucial intelligence. She explains that the package Vilain took contains the locations of several tons of weapons-grade plutonium, hidden in an abandoned Soviet-era mine. Vilain, a man who delights in chaos, plans to sell it, sparking global conflicts and lining his pockets. The stakes are now incredibly high, much higher than just a simple retrieval mission. Their first stop is a nearby village, suspected of harboring some of Vilain's men. They arrive to find it completely devastated, a wasteland of burning homes and scattered bodies. It's a chilling testament to Vilain's brutality, his willingness to kill indiscriminately. They encounter a group of villagers who survived, and from them, they learn more about Vilain's operations, his path, and the sheer terror he instills. The air is thick with the smell of smoke and despair. Suddenly, a group of Vilain's thugs appears, ready for a fight. This is the first taste of the Expendables raw, unleashed fury. Christmas is a whirlwind of blades, each throw precise and deadly, silencing enemies with surgical efficiency. Gunnar, roaring like a beast, tears through opponents, his punches landing with sickening thuds that echo through the ruined buildings. Caesar's shotgun barks, a terrifying sound that sends enemies scattering, while Toll Road expertly uses the environment, setting up quick, brutal traps. Barney, leading the charge, is a force of nature, his movements economical, every shot purposeful, fueled by the memory of Billy. They move like a well-oiled machine, each member contributing to the symphony of destruction, leaving a trail of broken bodies in their wake. It's a brutal, cathartic release of their pent-up rage. They track Vilain through the rugged terrain, following a trail of destruction and rumors. The journey is fraught with peril, narrow escapes, and smaller skirmishes, each one hardening their resolve. Maggie proves to be invaluable, her analytical mind complementing their brute force approach. She uses her CIA intel to narrow down Vilain's likely targets and routes, helping them avoid larger ambushes and keeping them focused on their ultimate goal, the plutonium and Vilain himself. She's a great addition, adding a layer of intelligence to the otherwise straightforward shoot-everything approach at one point. They find themselves trapped, pinned down by overwhelming numbers in a claustrophobic tunnel. Just when it seems like they're about to be overrun, a mysterious figure appears, a lone wolf with an impossibly calm demeanor. It's Booker, played by the legendary Chuck Norris, looking as if he hasn't aged a day since Walker, Texas Ranger. He dispatches Vilain's men with effortless grace and devastating power, a silent, deadly whirlwind. He practically makes an entire army disappear in minutes, leaving the Expendables stunned and mildly impressed. He's like a cheat code walking around in human form. He delivers a couple of classic Norris lines, explains that he's just cleaning up in the area, and then vanishes as quickly as he appeared, leaving everyone wondering if they just hallucinated the whole thing. It's a fantastic, fan service moment that elicits cheers and maybe a few chuckles. The team continues its relentless pursuit, now with renewed hope, bolstered by Booker's timely intervention. They realize Vilain is heading towards a specific, massive Soviet-era plutonium mine, a sprawling, underground complex filled with forgotten machinery and, more importantly, tons of deadly material. They know this is where the final confrontation will happen. As they close in, the scope of Vilain's operation becomes horrifyingly clear. He's amassed a small army, heavily fortified the mine, and is already extracting the plutonium. The fate of the world, or at least a significant chunk of it, hangs in the balance. Just when things seem their darkest, a familiar helicopter silhouette appears on the horizon. Out steps Church, and, in an even bigger surprise, Trench. They've arrived just in time, bringing their own brand of firepower and, more importantly, a much-needed morale boost. Church, ever the professional, reiterates the mission's importance, but also subtly acknowledges the personal nature of the fight for Barney. Trench, meanwhile, exchanges friendly jabs with Barney, a classic display of their old-school rivalry and camaraderie. The stage is set for an epic showdown, with all the big guns assembled. It's a true gathering of the Titans, the kind of moment that makes you want to pump your fists in the air. The final battle takes place at the enormous, dilapidated Soviet airbase, which is connected to the plutonium mine. It's a vast, decaying testament to a forgotten era, now crawling with Vilain's heavily armed mercenaries. The Expendables, now joined by Church, Trench, and occasionally Booker, who just seems to pop up whenever needed, launch their assault. It's a multi-pronged attack, a symphony of coordinated chaos. Barney takes point, moving with a grim determination, his revolver spitting fire. Christmas is a blur of motion, his knives finding necks and chests with horrifying precision, a silent, deadly dance through the enemy lines. Yin Yang is a martial arts tornado, deflecting blows and landing devastating kicks with lightning speed. Gunnar barrels through obstacles, tearing down enemies with raw strength, his machine gun roaring. Toll Road is setting charges, bringing down entire sections of the building, creating diversions and traps with practiced ease. Caesar's heavy weapons lay waste to entire squads, the ground shaking with each burst of fire from his monstrous shotgun. The soundscape is a cacophony of explosions, gunfire, shattering glass, and the desperate cries of Vilain's men. It's absolute mayhem, but a very controlled mayhem, orchestrated by seasoned professionals. Church and Trench, not to be outdone, are laying down their own brand of destruction. Church, with his tactical shotgun, is a methodical, relentless force, clearing rooms with precision and grim efficiency. Trench, with his enormous machine gun, is a one-man wrecking crew, cutting down enemies like they're weeds. Their combined firepower is immense, and the chemistry between the older action stars is palpable, their banter sharp and witty even in the midst of a full-scale war zone. It's like watching two grizzled old lions still at the top of their game, and it's glorious. The fight spills into the vast, cavernous halls of the airbase. Planes, dusty and rusted, stand as silent witnesses to the carnage. Vilain's forces are well-equipped and numerous, but they're no match for the combined might of the Expendables and their allies. The hand-to-hand combat is brutal and visceral, the crack of bone and the grunt of effort filling the air. Gunnar is smashing heads together. Toll Road is using his brawling skills to incapacitate opponents with powerful blows. Every member of the team gets their moment to shine, showcasing their unique combat styles. Each one a master of their craft, as the battle rages. Barney finally corners Vilain in a climactic, brutal one-on-one fight. Vilain, despite his elegant attire, is a vicious, skilled combatant, matching Barney blow for blow. The fight is intense, raw, and personal. Punches land with sickening force, the air filled with grunts and the scrape of boots on concrete. Barney is fighting with the fury of a man who has lost a son, every strike infused with the memory of Billy. Vilain, cool and calculating, delights in the brutality, his moves precise and deadly. He uses his environment, his surroundings, making it a dance of death. It's not a clean, flashy fight. It's a desperate, grimy brawl between two hardened men. The metallic tang of blood is almost palpable. Barney eventually gains the upper hand, fueled by his vengeance, and delivers a final, bone-shattering blow, ending Vilain's reign of terror. The death is swift and satisfying, a moment of hard-won justice. Meanwhile, Church and Trench are engaged in their own aerial battle, attempting to prevent a cargo plane full of plutonium from taking off. They manage to board the plane mid-takeoff, fighting their way through the remaining terrorists. The plane shudders and groans as bullets rip through its fuselage, the roar of the engines mixing with the gunfire. It's a tight, claustrophobic fight inside the moving beast, with the constant threat of a catastrophic crash. They manage to disable the plane, preventing the plutonium from falling into the wrong hands. The plane skids to a halt, a smoking hulk, but the world is safe for now. And of course, Booker appears, seemingly out of nowhere, to offer a quick assist before disappearing again. A true phantom of the battlefield in the aftermath. The dust settles, literally and figuratively. The airbase is a wreck, a testament to the sheer scale of the battle. The remaining plutonium is secured. The mission is accomplished, not just for Church, but for Barney and his team. Justice for Billy has been served. The team gathers, tired but victorious. The weight of their loss is still heavy, but now accompanied by a sense of closure. Maggie, having seen the true heart of these men, departs, a new respect in her eyes. Barney, ever the leader, takes a moment of quiet reflection. He retrieves Billy's letter, the one to his girlfriend, and carefully reads it aloud to the team. It's a poignant moment, a reminder of the young man they lost, his hopes, his dreams. It's a powerful scene, showcasing the deep camaraderie and unspoken bonds that tie these hardened warriors together. They are a family, united by blood, sweat, and shared sacrifice. They salute their fallen comrade, a silent promise that he will never be forgotten. As they fly off, Barney tosses Billy's signature knife, the one he had placed on his grave, into the sky, a final, symbolic farewell. It twirls, catching the light, before disappearing into the clouds, a powerful visual metaphor for Billy's spirit soaring free. The plane, battered but resilient, flies into the sunset, carrying its crew of legends towards their next adventure. Or perhaps a much-deserved break, as the credits begin to roll, leaving us to reflect on the sheer scale of destruction and the journey of these grizzled veterans. We're left with a sense of both triumph and loss. The Expendables are more than just a band of mercenaries. They are a symbol of a bygone era of action cinema, an homage to the heroes who defined our childhoods. Their commitment to each other, their unwavering loyalty, and their ability to overcome impossible odds make them more than just soldiers of fortune. They become a testament to the power of camaraderie and the enduring spirit of vengeance when fueled by love and loss. They remind us that even in the face of overwhelming evil, a few good men with enough firepower and a whole lot of grit, can make a difference. The rumble of explosions and the crack of gunfire may fade, but the message of their unbreakable bond and their relentless pursuit of justice echoes on, leaving a lasting impression of the true cost of their bloody trade and the unyielding strength found in brotherhood. The Expendables 2 truly delivered on its promise of old-school action and star power, bringing together a dream team of legends for one explosive ride. It's a glorious tribute to the genre, packed with incredible fight choreography, massive explosions, and some truly iconic one-liners. It proved that these action titans still have what it takes to dominate the screen, and it was a blast to watch them all in their element.